all the Mesilla Valley, reaching all of New Mexico. Broadcasting live from the Las Cruces studios, bringing you the issues that matter and the topics that count. Telling it like it is. It's the Mike Tellez Show. And now here's your host, Mike Tellez.
Hello and welcome to our program here. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mike Tellez and this is a new program, the Mike Tellez Show. I thank you for joining us. And I also want to take this quick moment to thank Chris Solar with the Las Cruces Channel Network. He's on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter now. Chris has been reliable in keeping a voice for our area, and we need to recognize him, thank him, and take a look at his network channels on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. He's our voice for this area. He's the one who has enabled us for 20 years to get up here and speak. So I want to just thank Chris and his family for being so good to our city. What a 2020. We've been faced with trials and tribulations like never before. Never in my lifetime have we gone through a year quite like this. We have suffered loss, personal loss. We have suffered heartbreaking loss of loved ones. Businesses shutting down, devastating our economy. Our economy has collapsed. You know, I used to own the IHOP restaurant. I'll tell you, I am so glad that I am not in that industry right now. And I feel bad for my brothers over there. Tito, who has the IHOP on Tellez. I feel bad for these guys. I feel bad for all these restaurants here. I've got a lot of friends in this restaurant community and business community. And you know, as a community, I just want to take this moment to say we've got to go and patronize our businesses. And I'm going to tell you what's so hard about it. It's easy for us to go through a drive-up window or pull into a stall at one of these fast food places. But you know, we need to take a little bit extra time and go to these restaurants who have to go outside in tents, the ones who we call ahead, IHOP for instance, La Posta, Si Senor, any of these restaurants. Call them up and get that order to go and let's start taking our business to them also. Because you know what? They're suffering too. We can't walk into their beautiful restaurants right now and eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. But I'm going to tell you what, we can still call them and go by their businesses and pick them up. We need to help these people that are out there hanging on. They're in survival mode. They're trying to make it. And you know what? They represent a lot of jobs in our community. When you go to these restaurants and patronize them and buy from them and take the extra moment to call in and go over there and change our norms a little. Our norms have changed in 2020. We're doing things different. So you know what? They're having to do things different. So let's go to their restaurants and businesses. Let's pull in. And you know what? They'll run it to your window for you. But we need to take care of our restaurants and businesses out there that are still hanging on. They refuse to give up. So you know what we need to refuse to do? We need to refuse to let them go down. We need to start spending our money with them. We're going to get takeout stuff. Let's go and let's help them out. Let's keep them going so that when things return back to who knows what normal's going to be, but when they come back to a point where we can go in, they're still there. Because you know what? We don't want to lose any of them. They're all so important to the culture and our community. 2020, my goodness. You know, we've overcome a lot. We've overcome a lot of heartbreak. I got near and dear brothers and friends out there, brothers in the Lord out there that are no longer with us. I tell you, it's been heartbreaking. How can you get over the loss of a loved one? We've had to. There's no time more important than right now to get on our knees and pray to God in the name of Jesus Christ to help heal our land, help heal our country, our state, our community, our neighborhoods, and our households. We need to get on our knees. We need to pray to God, ask more than ever before. We can't afford these times we are in right now to weaken our faith. We can't afford that. We cannot afford to let these times still and rob our hope. We can't. You know, I'm going to tell you something. We've got to be strong, and we need to remain strong. You know, we got to remain strong. There's several reasons why we need to remain strong, but I'm going to tell you one of the most important. We got kids. We got children. We got kids. We got teenagers. Imagine how they feel right now seeing these times and asking themselves, is this our future? What has happened to our country? Is this what we're going to grow up into? We're adults. We're strong. We've learned about faith. We've learned how to persevere all of our lives. We've learned how to go through tough times, recessions and depressions and sickness. We've learned. But our kids, we've got to take this time to let them know, you know what? We're going to get through these times. We're a tough country. We're tough. We've got a big God and a good Jesus Christ that takes care of us. We have got to teach them, talk to them about looking up rather than out. If you live your life looking out every day, looking at the news, looking at what everyone's saying, social media, all the rhetoric out there, my goodness, that's enough to scare anyone half to death. But you know what? We need to teach them there's a place that we look up to that doesn't have that. Look up. Look up. Don't look out. Look up. Believe. Believe that God hears our cries, that Jesus Christ did die for us. He is our Savior. We need to look up. We need to teach our kids. And you know what? If there's friends, relatives, anybody that is in great fear, you need to tell them, look up. Don't let the world get you down. Don't let this emotional breakdown, don't let the hype, don't let all this negative news, don't let it bring you down. You know, friends ask me all the time, Mike, what are your thoughts? I said, you know, I'm going to tell you something. I've learned in life, you need to deal with what you have control of. You need to look up. I said, I look up. I don't look out and base how my life is going based on what television or the news or social media. I don't live like that. We can't afford to live like that. Look how nervous and how nerve-wracking it would be if we spent our life looking at the television and basing our lives on that. How scary is that? That's awful. Then we're living that, we're watching that. Our kids around us are watching that. They're watching our reaction. Understand something. The minute you start panicking, the minute you start getting scared, what do you think your kids are doing when they see that? When they see the tough people who have control of what's going on are scared, imagine the fear that hits them. The greatest thing we can do is be strong for them. Be strong and understand we have a God that can fix anything. He's bigger than any elections. He's bigger than any flus. He's bigger than all of this. This is the time more than ever. And you know what? Our kids have been out of school. It's going on a year. Look how long they've been out of school. And you know, I remember I used to wish, man, I'd like to be out of school for a month or 2 months. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. After a while, it starts getting frightening. After a while, we start wondering, well, what's going on here? Will I ever see my friends again? Will I ever get to enjoy a normal life? A somewhat normal life? We need to reassure them. You know what? Things are getting better and we're going to get there. We're going to get there. We got to believe. We got to have faith that we're going forward and not backwards. We got to believe that it can happen. We got to believe we are going to overcome the obstacles that 2020 has plagued us with. And there's a bunch. A lot of income lost. A lot of businesses closed. There's been a lot of changes. We got to ask ourselves, what is the new norm? And you know, we got to start adapting to whatever it is we need to change up. I'm going to tell you the hardest thing for me to do was to wear that darn mask. I'm going to tell you what, I cannot stand that. In the beginning, I said, I'm not wearing a mask. Then I started looking and seeing what was going on. It didn't take long for me to say, you know what? I'm wearing a mask. I'm going to make sure it's a mask I can breathe in, a mask. I make sure I have a mask when I go out in public. If that's what we need to do to get through this, is wear a mask. They're very cheap. They're simple to get. You know, you go to Pickwick, they'll give you a free mask. You know, a mask, it's simple. Washing your hands is something you should do anyway. Wash those hands 10 times a day. Keep that sanitizer where you can always put it on your hands. You know what? You got to wash your hand for 20 seconds. I'll tell you what, that is a toughie. But you know what? Even I got used to having to do that. We need to follow the guidelines. And you know what? Those guidelines don't hurt. Because you know what? There's nothing wrong with washing your hands all the time. Nothing wrong with keeping sanitizer on them. There's really nothing wrong with wearing a mask. If you even have anything, you should wear a mask. But you know what? Right now, we're told that it is absolutely imperative we wear a mask. It's the law. So you know what? Guess what? I'm going to follow the law. I'm going to wear a mask. How hard is that? Just put a mask on and wear it. Start getting used to it. Find one you can breathe right in. Find one that fits you right. Your kids, show them how to wear a mask. And you know what? They're going to wear that mask as long as you wear a mask. So you want them to wear a mask? You wear that mask. And I'll tell you what, wouldn't you just love to know that everywhere your children go, they have a mask on, they at least have 1 degree of protection? How about them washing their hands every single chance they get? Remind them. Say, you know what? This right here can help us get a habit going that we need to keep. Wash those hands. Cover yourself when you know what, I'll never forget. I don't remember which person it was. Cough like Barney does. Teach them how to sneeze. Teach them how to cough. But we need to teach our kids how to live in these times we're in right now. And it doesn't look like they're going to change very much very soon. We need to come out here and we need to do everything we possibly can to bring stability. You know what? No one of us will bring stability to this country. Not one of us has that capability. Not one of us has the capability of bringing stability to the state of New Mexico. None of us. Not one of us can even bring stability to the city of Las Cruces. But I'll tell you what, you can definitely help bring stability to your house. You can help bring stability to your house, and if every one of us works on bringing stability to our own household, you know what? We've done our part of bringing stability to Las Cruces. And right now, you know what? We start in our home, and let's start where we're at to make a difference, to do something, to bring some kind of normalcy back into our worlds. Schools, who knows when they're going to open up again? You know, parents, I did a teaching intern at one of the middle schools here when I was in college. I was a professional student, one of my many careers. But I went into one of the schools, and oh my goodness, what those teachers had to deal with our kids. I'm going to tell you what this 1 year's done. This 1 year has shown you a snapshot of what the teachers are dealing with. You know what? Let's take this time right here, right now, that we have our loved ones at home and those angels at home. Let's take this time to teach them how to behave once they do go back into school. Right now, hey, school is starting to look more like a privilege now. You know, I'm going to tell you what, a lot of these kids have got to be chomping at the bit to go back into school and get out of that house. They've got to be anxious for that. Well, you know what? Let's help those teachers out by telling our kids, you know what? You got to make sure you teach your teachers with respect. Look what they have to go through. Look at this. You need to be respectful to them. You need to address them with respect. You've got to be thankful those teachers are there. Spend your time right now teaching these kids. While you got them at home, you start teaching them. Teach them what they need to know to be a better citizen and to make school a better experience for everybody. You know what? That's our job right now, is to help train these kids and raise our kids. We've got a lot to talk about today, and when we come back from this station break, we're going to go over some of the things that we're going to talk about in the next 8 weeks. So please join us after this. We'll be right back.
Horizon Granite is here. We'll come to you to customize your kitchen and bathroom with beautiful countertops and cabinets. Find out more at horizongranite.com. Call us at 575-650-3180.
Horizon Granite is here.
It's here.
Make yourself a beautiful home.
Hi, I'm Ray Bamberg with Here on Earth. I would like to invite you for a free hearing evaluation to our office. We've been here in southern New Mexico for 34 years helping people hear better.
If we want to improve America's healthcare system, let's start by improving the health of Americans. Despite the best doctors, hospitals, and medical advancements, Americans are not as healthy as they should be. We spend too much on treatment and not enough on wellness and prevention. We need a system based on primary care. When patients have a medical home and a long-term relationship with a doctor, the result is a longer, healthier life and reduced medical costs for everyone. Let's make America a place where health is primary.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil gods. But above all, they're called Marines.
Welcome back to our show, The Mike Tellez Show. Thank you. My name is Mike Tellez. We're going to go talk about some of the things that are coming up for next several weeks. We have a lot of exciting programs coming up. We're going to do a three-part series on the homeless people that we see in our streets right now, and the people we see sometimes in the medians on the side of the road. What we're going to do is on a three-part series. We're going to do a survey. We're going to go out in the street and we're going to ask, where did you come from? Why did you pick Las Cruces? And the third show is going to be, what are your intentions once you got here? What are your plans? What are you going to do while you're here? You know, Las Cruces has a big heart. We like to help people, but you know what? We need to help the people who live here in Las Cruces first. The people are going to come to our city. Wouldn't it be nice if they were going to come to our city and maybe add something to our city? We can't afford to be taking too much out. We're going to have three programs on that coming up. I urge you to join us for those. We're going to talk about our substance abuse and our mental health issues here and our crime. And I'm bringing in a special guest, the president of Teen Challenge. I'm going to invite him to the show to talk to us about some of the programs they have that can revolutionize some of the problems we're experiencing. That is going to be an exciting show. We're going to bring on people from this area that are fighting the front line, working towards getting some stability and getting control of this. You know, we got to address some of these issues in our community and do what we can to get out there and make a difference in them. Finally, we're going to talk a little bit about the business community and some of the problems and issues they've gone through and how they're doing. Have you wondered how these restaurant owners are doing? Have you just wondered how are their lives? You know, I had my friend Tito Regalado. He called me up and, oh man, he was just sweating it. He says, Mike, we're closing down again. How could we do that? We're closing down again. You know how this is. He calls me because he knows I understand I feel his pain. But you know, I had one, and you know what? Every up and down would come, we'd feel the pain. Well, you know what? He has 6 of them. So you can imagine the stress some of these business owners are going through. We're going to bring a few of these business owners on to just talk about, how are you all surviving? How's it going? What can we do as a community to help you? You know, it's important that we come together as a community. Ideologies, we need to cast all that aside. No matter who we are, no matter what political views we have, we need to put those aside. We need to come together as a city, as one. We need to come together, work together. You know what? If every one of us come together and contribute something to our community, imagine how fast we'll rebound. You know what? It doesn't matter what's going on anywhere else. We need to come together and work on getting Las Cruces back, get us stable. Let's stabilize our city right here. You know, imagine if our community volunteered 1 hour a week. It does not matter who you are. You don't have to be an expert in something. Everybody can volunteer 1 hour a week towards helping us make this the best city in the country right here. Making this a city to be proud of. This city. This is what we need to work on. And like I said earlier, it starts in the home. It starts on our block. It starts in our neighborhood, in our city. But you know what? Let's start something. This is 2021. We made it to 2021. It looked as though we were going to fall off the edge of a cliff for the longest time. But you know what? We're here still. And for those of us that are still here, it is our obligation as citizens of this beautiful city to go out and do something to make a difference in our community. Do something to help our community grow and strive and get back on its feet. I'll tell you what, we got knocked down to one knee right now. Well, it's time for us to start working on getting back up. And each show is focused on bringing stability back to our city. And as we go through the next 8 weeks of programming, what we're hoping, what we're aiming at is through those 8 weeks that you find something through those programs that will strike you and say, you know what? I could help right there. Well, you know what? I could do something on this one. I could do something on that one. There's going to be 8 different areas that you could do something to make a difference in our city. And we want to show you those 8 different areas so that you can find what you would like to do. And you know what? Pick something you enjoy doing. Certainly we're hoping we will find something that everybody would like to do. We're going to also talk about how to know who needs help and how to go help them. Let's help the people who need help. Let's help the hopeless, helpless. Let's help them. Let's help them get back on their feet. Let's help them get back on their feet and put that 1 hour back and giving it back to the city. Paying back that by giving to our city. Helping our community grow. Helping our community grow a heart that is one. That is bounded by all of us together, irregardless of what's going on outside, irregardless of what the news, social media says. Let's come together and let's make Las Cruces great. We need to take our eyes off of the world, look up, and then do what we could do. Do what we love doing. There's something all of us like. You know, I own the Dream Center, the Las Cruces Dream Center right here, and you know, we've got a boxing program that we work with kids. We've got boxers. We got, you know, I'm going to tell you, we got a national champion there, Ariana Carrasco. I am so proud of her. I am so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. An A student, Mayfield High School. I mean, she from 12 years old, for 5 years, she has been learning how to box. And you know what? She's our superstar in this city now. She's a national champion. She is a phenomenal boxer. She has gone and taken out the best of them all around our country. You know what? To bring back a championship to our city. You remember when Sports Illustrated used to call this Titletown USA when Mayfield and Cruces were just absolutely the powerhouses? Well, yeah, that didn't end because we got titles in that gym now. Ariana's bringing titles home. We got boxers all around this city that are bringing titles home. You know what? We're still Titletown USA because we've got kids going out there and working their hearts out to bring those titles back. The boxing gym is House of Pain. We got Renee, we got Joe. We got volunteers in there that give and pour out their lives to that. We have Adam. We got guys that go in there every day. We got guys, you know, that when this virus hit, They went to a special training class that taught them how to clean a gym, how to sanitize a gym, how to keep everything clean, sanitized so that they could stay safe. Their time, they didn't get paid a cent. They don't get paid to go pour this 30, 40 hours a week into working with the kids. They do it because they love it. Their heart is what drives them to do it. They love what they do. I see them in there. I go in there in awe every day and watch them. I watch how much they love what they're doing. Ariana's dad, you know, from the first day she started, that man was right there. It is amazing what happens when Dad shows up. We're going to bring them on the program and talk about the plight they've taken to get where they're at. You know, we're going to bring things that are going to bring excitement to this community, excitement to watch. None of that political stuff, none of that rhetoric we're seeing, none of that doom and gloom that is absolutely plastering the airwaves right now. No, we're not going with the doom and gloom. We're not. We're going to live today, and we're going to learn to live the day we're in, move forward, and quit looking out, look up, and make a difference. And see these many kids that are making us proud in this community. Every time I see those boxers, I go, I'm going to tell you, we got 6-year-olds in there learning how to box, and I'll tell you right this minute, I would not attempt to get in that ring with a 6-year-old boxer. Boy, Adam and those guys, Renee, they're teaching them all that. They're teaching them the discipline, teaching them how to get in there. They're running, they're exercising, they're learning how to eat, they're staying fit, they're learning how to control themselves, they're learning self-discipline. Oh, I could go on and on about that. You can't tell how proud I am of our boxing gym. We've got music programs going on the other side where people are learning how to play music. We have musicians in there. Exciting things are happening at the Dream Center, but you know what? Exciting things can be happening all over this town. All you need to do, stay tuned to us Saturdays at 12 noon, Sunday 12 noon and 6:30 in the evening on Las Cruces Channel Network, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Look it up and join it and start watching some of the wonderful programming going on there. Chris and his staff go through a lot of trouble and a lot of pain to get this program on there. That is someone we need to support. We need to support the people in our city that are working hard to bring this to you. And I want to invite you all to join us. Join us. Start watching this Las Cruces Channel Network. Start looking at it. Get on there right now and start looking at the programming coming up. But I'm asking you more than anything, join us for the Mike Tellez Show. I'm telling you, you will enjoy it. It'll be something, you know, it'll be something relevant to your life. And I'll tell you, it'll bring new outlook. And maybe it'll give you something to volunteer to do to help make a difference in our city. My name is Mike Tellez, and I'd like to take this moment to thank you for joining us today.